ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are going to talk about a journey that many of us have either walked or will walk at some point in our lives. It is a journey of profound solitude, one that will force us to look inward, question everything we believed about ourselves, and reshape the way we see the world. It's the journey of a man with no friend. We all want connection. As human beings, we crave relationships, bonds, friendships. These are the things that make life rich and meaningful. We are wired for connection. And the presence of others in our lives gives us a sense of purpose. But what happens when that connection is taken away? What happens when the people we count on, the ones we trust, vanish or turn their backs? What happens when the very foundation of our social reality crumbles and we are left alone in a world that suddenly feels bigger, colder, and more indifferent than we ever imagined? In these moments of isolation, many of us are tempted to think that this is the end. We believe that without others, we are nothing, that our worth is somehow tied to the validation and support we receive from our peers, our family, our friends. But here's a truth that can change everything the moment you are alone is the moment you are forced to face the most powerful version of yourself. Let's think about this for a second. We spend so much time trying to meet other people's expectations, trying to fit in, trying to be liked. And we forget something incredibly important in the process. We are not here to be liked by everyone. We are not here to mold ourselves to other people's image of who we should be. We are here to find out who we truly are, to become the most authentic and powerful version of ourselves. When you stand alone, when you find yourself in a place where no one else is there to define you, that is when the real growth begins. Imagine for a moment that you have no friends, no one to turn to, no one to share your victories or your struggles with. It's a lonely place, no doubt. But in that loneliness, something beautiful can happen. It's in the silence that you begin to hear your own voice clearly. You realize that you have been relying on others to validate you, to tell you who you are, to give you a sense of belonging. But now you are forced to look inward and start asking the only question that truly matters: who am I without the influence of anyone else? This is where your true strength lies. It's in this space of solitude that you begin to discover your own power, your own abilities, your own potential. You realize that the world outside of you may change, but the power within you is unshakable. You don't need approval to move forward, and you don't need anyone's permission to pursue your dreams. All you need is the courage to keep going, the belief that you can create your own path, and the willingness to step into your own greatness. But let's be real for a moment. It's not easy. The pain of loneliness is real. It's something we all feel at one time or another. It's uncomfortable. It makes us question our worth. It makes us wonder if we've done something wrong, if we're somehow unworthy of connection. But here's the reality: loneliness doesn't define you, it refines you. It shapes you into a person who is capable of standing strong, even when the world seems to have forgotten you. Think about it. When you are surrounded by people, you can sometimes lose sight of who you truly are. You fall into the trap of people-pleasing, of compromising your values to fit in. But when there is no one else around to impress, when you are forced to stand on your own, you discover what truly matters to you. You begin to develop a sense of inner strength that no one can take away from you. Your worth is no longer dependent on the validation of others. It becomes an intrinsic part of who you are. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what if I need others? What if I need someone to share my life with, to support me when I'm down, to celebrate with me when I succeed? And let me tell you, that is a natural human desire. We all want connection. But let me ask you this: what if you could give yourself everything you're waiting for from others? What if you could be the one who lifts yourself up, who celebrates your victories, who supports yourself through the tough times? This isn't about cutting yourself off from the world. It's not about saying that relationships don't matter. Relationships are powerful. They can lift us higher, help us grow, and teach us invaluable lessons. But the real question is, are you capable of standing strong on your own? Are you capable of being your own source of strength, even when the world is silent? Here's the truth: when you become strong within yourself, when you cultivate that inner power and self-reliance, you attract the kind of people who are aligned with your highest self. You begin to attract friends, companions, and mentors who are drawn to your authenticity, your courage, and your resilience. You stop needing validation because you've already validated yourself. And when that happens, the right people will find their way into your life. Now, let's look at something important. The absence of friends doesn't mean you are alone. You have yourself and you have the world. The world is vast, and it is filled with opportunities, experiences, and adventures waiting for you. When you stop looking for approval, when you stop waiting for someone to fill that void inside of you, you open yourself to the infinite possibilities that life has to offer. You realize that the only limits are the ones you impose on yourself. And once you let go of those limitations, the world becomes your playground. This is not just a call to accept solitude, it's a call to use solitude as a tool for transformation. It's in those moments of stillness that we grow the most. The pain of being alone can become the fuel for your greatest breakthrough. The fire that burns when you feel abandoned can turn into the light that guides you to a new level of success, fulfillment, and happiness. But let's talk about the fear, because I know it's there. The fear that you're not enough, the fear that you'll never find your tribe, the fear that you'll never be understood. Here's what you need to understand: fear is just a story you tell yourself. It's an illusion designed to keep you small, to keep you from stepping into the powerful, unstoppable force that you are. And let me tell you something, fear is always going to be there. It's a part of the human experience. But it doesn't have to control you. You can choose to rise above it. You can choose to take that fear and turn it into the fuel that propels you forward. When you embrace the discomfort of being alone, you create a powerful shift. You stop waiting for someone to come along and fill the gap in your life. You realize that the gap is not a hole, it's space for you to grow. It's space for you to become the person you were always meant to be. You start to see that you don't need to rely on anyone else to complete you. You are already complete. This is the moment when everything changes. This is the moment when you stop playing small and start playing big. This is the moment when you realize that your power lies not in the number of friends you have, but in the belief that you are enough just as you are. And once you truly understand that, once you internalize it, you will become a magnet for the kind of relationships that bring value to your life. Not out of need, but out of mutual respect, trust, and alignment with your highest self. So here's the challenge. The next time you find yourself feeling alone, feeling like you have no one to turn to, don't look at it as a problem. Look at it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to step into your own power. It's an opportunity for you to reflect on who you really are and to take the steps necessary to become the person you've always wanted to be. In that solitude, there's a treasure waiting for you. It's a treasure of self-discovery, self-mastery, and self-love. The more you embrace this journey, the more you'll realize that you don't need the approval of others to be happy, to be successful, or to be fulfilled. You are already enough. And when you believe that, when you truly embody it, you will begin to attract the right people, the right experiences, and the right opportunities into your life. You are powerful, you are capable, you are worthy, and you are never truly alone. You have yourself. And when you have yourself, you have everything you need to succeed. Remember, the world is full of possibilities. You are the author of your own story, and you have the power to create a life that reflects your deepest desires. So stand tall, embrace your solitude, and trust that everything you need is already inside of you. The journey to greatness begins with the courage to walk alone, and from there, the world will open up in ways you never imagined. You are not just surviving, you are thriving. The absence of friends or social connections provides a powerful opportunity for self-reflection and self-discovery. It's in solitude that individuals can discover their true identity and inner strength, free from external influences and expectations. True power comes from within. When we are alone, we have the chance to rely on ourselves for validation, support, and motivation, building inner strength that no one can take away. This self-reliance allows individuals to stand firm and move forward, regardless of external circumstances. Fear is inevitable, but it can be used as a catalyst for personal growth and transformation. Embracing fear rather than being controlled by it enables individuals to rise above challenges and step into their fullest potential. The need for external validation can hinder growth. When individuals stop seeking approval from others and embrace their true selves, they become more authentic, attracting relationships and opportunities that align with their highest potential. The speech emphasizes that individuals have the power to choose their own path. Embracing solitude, reflecting on one's values, and taking control of personal growth lead to a life of fulfillment, where one is not dependent on others for happiness or success. Self-discovery is often painted as a glamorous pursuit, something achieved through external accolades, social recognition, and positive reinforcement from others. People often associate self-realization with thriving in group settings, having a wide circle of friends, being seen in a particular light, or living up to some societal standard. However, there is a different, less spoken of path to self-discovery, a path that starts in solitude. Solitude, far from being a place of isolation or emptiness, is the very place where we are most likely to encounter our authentic selves. It is in those moments of silence, when the noise of the world fades away, that we can truly hear our own thoughts, understand our own desires, and begin the process of uncovering who we really are. The world we live in is constantly bombarding us with distractions: social media, work demands, the pressure to meet others' expectations, the desire to belong. In this hustle and bustle, it's easy to lose track of our true selves. We begin to follow paths that are set for us by others or by society's standards without ever stopping to ask whether they align with our true desires and values. We may feel disconnected from ourselves, not even knowing what we truly want or who we truly are. This is where solitude becomes essential. It gives us the chance to press pause on the external noise and take a deep dive into our own hearts and minds. When we are alone, free from the judgments or influences of others, we are forced to confront ourselves. We cannot hide behind the facades as we've built to please others or fit into social groups. There are no distractions, no social expectations, and no one else to define us. It is just us, standing face to face with the core of who we are. And this, though initially uncomfortable, is where the most profound growth takes place. Solitude challenges us to look inward, to listen to the voice within, and to examine what truly matters to us. It's easy to let the opinions of others dictate how we feel about ourselves, but when we are alone, we get to step out of that cycle. In solitude, we are free to explore who we are without judgment or comparison. We can explore what drives us, what inspires us, what scares us, and what excites us. There are no external voices to cloud our judgment. When we are alone, we find that the most important opinions are our own, and we begin to learn how to trust ourselves. This process of self-trust is crucial for personal growth, as it gives us the confidence to pursue what feels right, even if it deviates from what others expect or think is best. Solitude also provides the space for reflection. We live in a world where the pace of life never seems to slow down, where we are constantly moving from one task to the next. In the rush, we rarely take the time to reflect on our actions, our choices, or our feelings. Yet, reflection is essential for understanding ourselves. It allows us to look back on our lives, analyze our decisions, and learn from our mistakes. Solitude offers the opportunity for that reflection, enabling us to process our experiences and gain insight into who we are and what we need to change in order to live more authentically. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely, and this is an important distinction to make. Solitude is a conscious choice to be by oneself in order to grow, whereas loneliness is often a state of mind where we feel abandoned or disconnected. While loneliness may feel painful and isolating, solitude is empowering. When we learn to be comfortable in our own company, we stop seeking validation from others and we start to realize that we are enough as we are. In solitude, we learn to become our own best friend, providing ourselves with the compassion, understanding, and care that we may have once sought from others. As we delve deeper into solitude, we start to peel away the layers that we've built up over time. We shed the masks we wear to fit in or gain approval. The person who was once so eager to please others begins to fade, and the authentic version of ourselves begins to emerge. Solitude is the place where we can strip away these external layers and uncover what truly lies beneath. When we're free from the pressure of performing for others, we can reconnect with our deepest values, desires, and passions. This process of peeling away layers is not always easy. It often requires us to confront parts of ourselves that we've ignored, suppressed, or been afraid to face. We may have to deal with emotions and thoughts we've been avoiding, like fear, insecurity, or doubt. But it's only by confronting these uncomfortable truths that we can move past them and grow stronger. In solitude, we come face to face with our vulnerabilities, and by doing so, we learn to embrace them instead of running from them. Moreover, solitude fosters creativity and innovation. When we are alone, we are not influenced by the ideas or expectations of others. Our minds are free to wander, explore, and dream without the constraints of external opinions. This is when the most creative and innovative ideas are born. In solitude, we are able to tap into our inner creativity, unrestricted by the noise and limitations that often surround us in social settings. Without the need for approval or validation, we are more likely to take risks, explore new ideas, and break free from conventional thinking. In these moments of creative solitude, we can also reconnect with our passions. Life's demands often pull us away from the things that truly excite us. The pressures of work, family, or societal expectations can make us lose sight of our true interests. But when we are alone, we have the space to rediscover what truly lights us up. Whether it's painting, writing, music, or any other form of expression, solitude allows us to connect with the things that bring us joy and fulfillment. We begin to realize that these passions are not just hobbies, they are part of who we are. They are a reflection of our true selves, and by nurturing them, we are nourishing our soul. As we embrace solitude and allow it to guide us towards self-discovery, we begin to develop a deeper sense of inner peace. We no longer rely on the external world to define our happiness or our worth. Instead, we find contentment within ourselves. Solitude teaches us to find joy in our own company, to appreciate the quiet moments, and to be comfortable with who we are, regardless of what others may think or say. This inner peace becomes a solid foundation that we can carry with us into all aspects of our lives. Through solitude, we also develop resilience. Life is full of challenges and setbacks, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed when we face them. But when we are comfortable being alone, we become more equipped to handle adversity. Solitude teaches us how to stand strong. Even when we feel as though the world is against us, we learn that we don't need others to hold us up. We have the strength to rise on our own. This resilience is built in the quiet moments of solitude when we learn to trust ourselves and our ability to overcome obstacles. One of the most profound aspects of self-discovery through solitude is the way it deepens our relationship with ourselves. We often hear the phrase, know thyself, but what does that truly mean? It means understanding our own values, desires, fears, and strengths. It means knowing what makes us tick, what motivates us, and what holds us back. It means recognizing our own worth and embracing it fully. Solitude gives us the space to do this deep inner work. When we are alone, we are not distracted by the opinions of others or the noise of the world. We can fully focus on ourselves and explore what makes us unique. Ultimately, self-discovery through solitude is a process of transformation. It's a journey of peeling back the layers, confronting our truths, and embracing who we are at the core. It's a journey of shedding the expectations of others and learning to trust and believe in ourselves. Solitude is not a place of emptiness, it is a place of profound growth, self-realization, and empowerment. Through solitude, we uncover our authentic selves and learn how to live in alignment with our deepest values and desires. It's in these moments of quiet reflection that we can truly begin to understand who we are and who we are meant to become. Inner strength and self-reliance are two of the most powerful attributes a person can develop. These qualities are the foundation upon which personal growth, resilience, and success are built. They are the tools that allow an individual to stand tall in the face of adversity, to push through challenges, and to continue forward despite the obstacles that may arise. Inner strength is the ability to tap into an inherent well of courage, discipline, and determination when external circumstances seem overwhelming. Self-reliance, on the other hand, is the confidence and competence to handle life's ups and downs without depending excessively on others for validation, guidance, or support. Together, these qualities are the keys to achieving a life of autonomy, fulfillment, and purpose. At the heart of inner strength lies the ability to endure difficult situations without being broken. It's the mental and emotional fortitude that allows an individual to keep going when everything around them is crumbling. In life, we are all faced with setbacks, disappointments, and moments of weakness. The question is not whether we will face these challenges, but how we will respond to them. Will we succumb to despair, or will we rise stronger and more resilient as a result of the hardship we've experienced? Inner strength is developed through the consistent practice of overcoming difficulties. The more challenges we face and navigate successfully, the more resilient we become. However, it's not just about enduring the storms of life, it's about learning from them, growing through them, and using the lessons they provide to make us stronger and more capable. Every time we overcome adversity, we gain confidence in our ability to handle future challenges. This is how inner strength is cultivated. It is built over time, not in moments of comfort, but in times of struggle, loss, and hardship. The world is not always kind, and circumstances are often beyond our control. The key to surviving and thriving in an unpredictable world is cultivating the inner strength to weather those storms with grace and dignity. A person with inner strength does not allow external circumstances to define their sense of worth or their ability to navigate life's challenges. Instead, they draw upon their inner resources to maintain balance and keep moving forward no matter what. But inner strength is not just about enduring difficulty, it is also about having the courage to make difficult decisions. Life is full of choices, some of which are easier than others. However, some decisions require us to dig deep within ourselves and trust our intuition, even when the path is unclear or the consequences are uncertain. People with inner strength have the capacity to make these hard decisions and to follow through with them, even when they face opposition or fear. They trust themselves enough to make choices that align with their values, even if those choices are not popular or comfortable. This is where self-reliance comes into play. Self-reliance is the belief in one's own ability to handle life's challenges without needing constant approval or assistance from others. It is the trust in oneself to make decisions, solve problems, and find solutions without depending on others to tell you what to do. Self-reliance is about having confidence in your own judgment, knowing that you have the skills, knowledge, and capacity to succeed on your own. This belief in one's own abilities is critical, as it empowers a person to take action, to pursue their goals, and to overcome obstacles with determination and persistence. The modern world often teaches us to seek external validation, approval, or support. From a young age, we are taught to look to others for guidance, whether it's our parents, teachers, or peers. While seeking support from others can be helpful, the key to real self-reliance is learning to trust ourselves above all else. This doesn't mean rejecting help when it is needed or isolating ourselves from others. Instead, it means recognizing that we are the ultimate authority in our own lives. It means trusting our instincts, our judgment, and our ability to figure things out on our own. When we rely too heavily on others to make decisions for us, we give away our power, we lose the ability to take control of our own lives and create the future we desire. Self-reliance is not about being independent to the point of isolation. It's about developing the inner resources necessary to navigate life's challenges with confidence. It's about standing firm in your own decisions, trusting that you have the ability to handle whatever comes your way, and knowing that you don't need anyone else's permission to pursue your goals. However, self-reliance does not mean that we should never seek help from others. There is strength in knowing when to ask for guidance, advice, or support. The key is to recognize that help should be sought when needed, but not to the point where it becomes a crutch. We must be able to stand on our own 2 feet and trust that we have the capacity to solve problems independently. It is this balance that fosters true self-reliance, the understanding that we have the inner strength to handle life's challenges, but that asking for help is a part of growth, not a sign of weakness. Building inner strength and self-reliance also involves developing emotional intelligence. Our emotions are powerful forces that can either propel us forward or hold us back. People who are emotionally strong understand their feelings and know how to manage them in a way that serves them, rather than allowing emotions to control their actions. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and regulate our emotions in a way that leads to positive outcomes. It is the ability to remain calm and composed under pressure, to make rational decisions even in times of stress, and to bounce back from setbacks with resilience. When we cultivate emotional intelligence, we become less dependent on external validation. We no longer need others to tell us how we should feel or how we should react to life's events. Instead, we learn to manage our emotions, to respond to life with balance and perspective, and to move through difficulties without being overwhelmed by them. This emotional strength is a key aspect of both inner strength and self-reliance, as it allows us to navigate life's challenges with clarity and purpose, regardless of what's happening around us. Another crucial component of inner strength is discipline. Discipline is the ability to stay focused, committed, and consistent even when faced with distractions or temptations. It's the ability to maintain control over our actions even when it's difficult or inconvenient. People with inner strength are disciplined enough to stick to their goals, even when they don't feel motivated or when they encounter setbacks. They understand that success is not always immediate, and that progress often requires persistence, patience, and hard work. Discipline is a key part of self-reliance because it allows us to take control of our lives and to create the future we want rather than waiting for circumstances to align in our favor. When we are disciplined, we don't need anyone else to push us forward. We have the internal drive and commitment to keep moving toward our goals, no matter how difficult the journey may be. As we develop inner strength and self-reliance, we also learn the importance of self-care. Taking care of ourselves both physically and mentally is essential for maintaining the energy, focus, and resilience needed to navigate life's challenges. People who are strong within themselves understand the importance of rest, nutrition, exercise, and mental relaxation. They know that self-care is not a luxury but a necessity for maintaining their well-being. By taking care of themselves, they are better equipped to handle the ups and downs of life and to continue pursuing their goals with vigor and determination. Inner strength and self-reliance are not traits that are developed overnight. They are built through consistent effort, practice, and self-reflection. It takes time and commitment to cultivate these qualities, but the rewards are worth the effort. When we develop inner strength and self-reliance, we empower ourselves to create the life we want, to overcome any obstacle that stands in our way, and to live with purpose, confidence, and resilience. These qualities allow us to thrive, not just survive in a world that is often unpredictable and challenging. They give us the tools we need to navigate life's ups and downs and to emerge stronger, more capable, and more fulfilled as a result. Fear, in its essence, is one of the most primal and powerful emotions that we experience as human beings. It is deeply ingrained in our survival instincts, designed to protect us from danger, to keep us safe from harm. Fear triggers responses in our bodies and minds that prepare us for fight or flight, which historically helped our ancestors survive threats in their environment. However, in modern life, the types of threats we face are not always physical, but often emotional, psychological, or social. While many people view fear as an obstacle, something to be avoided at all costs, fear can also be a powerful tool for growth. When we learn to embrace fear rather than shy away from it, we unlock the potential for transformation, personal development, and self-discovery. Fear, in its negative connotation, is often viewed as something that paralyzes us, preventing us from taking action, stepping outside our comfort zone, or pursuing our true potential. When we feel fear, we may experience anxiety, self-doubt, or even panic. It can create a sense of paralysis where we become too afraid to make decisions, to take risks, or to move forward in life. In these moments, we may feel as if fear is our enemy, holding us back from achieving our goals, fulfilling our dreams, or reaching our full potential. However, the truth is that fear is not inherently negative. Rather, it is our response to fear that determines whether it becomes a hindrance or a powerful tool for growth. When we understand fear not as something to avoid, but as a signal, we can begin to see it as a source of valuable information. Fear often arises when we are faced with something unknown or unfamiliar. It can be the anticipation of a new challenge, an opportunity that requires us to step outside our comfort zone, or the possibility of failure or rejection. These are the moments that trigger fear, and rather than running from them, we can choose to lean into them. Fear is not a roadblock, it is a signal that we are pushing our limits, stretching our boundaries, and moving into territory that has the potential for growth. One of the most powerful ways fear can be used as a tool for growth is by transforming it into motivation. Fear often arises when we are faced with a new challenge or an uncertain future. It is natural to feel fear when stepping into unknown territory, whether it's taking on a new job, starting a new relationship, or pursuing a creative project. However, instead of allowing that fear to paralyze us, we can use it as fuel to take action. When we feel fear, it is often a sign that we care deeply about the outcome, that we are about to embark on something significant. Rather than letting that fear stop us, we can choose to use it as a driving force to push forward. Fear, when harnessed correctly, becomes a catalyst for action. Fear challenges us to examine what truly matters to us. When we are afraid, we are forced to confront our values, beliefs, and priorities. What is it that we are so afraid of losing or failing at? What are we trying to protect or achieve? Fear can act as a mirror, reflecting back to us what we care most deeply about. It helps us clarify our goals and motivations, allowing us to gain greater insight into our desires and aspirations. By facing our fear head-on, we gain clarity on what we truly want in life and why it matters. This clarity can propel us forward in a way that nothing else can. Fear helps us refine our vision, sharpen our focus, and take action in pursuit of what we most desire. Moreover, fear encourages us to build resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks, to adapt to challenges, and to keep moving forward despite difficulties. Fear presents us with opportunities to build this resilience. Every time we face a fearful situation and choose to move through it rather than avoid it, we build emotional strength and mental toughness. We begin to learn that fear does not have to control us. Instead, we can develop the ability to navigate through it, to persist in the face of discomfort, and to keep moving forward despite the challenges we face.
Resilience is built over time, and fear plays a significant role in this process. It is the challenges and obstacles that evoke fear that ultimately shape our character, teach us valuable lessons, and help us grow. When we confront fear, we develop the ability to adapt to new circumstances, to handle pressure, and to stay grounded in our values even when things get tough. This resilience becomes a powerful tool in navigating life's inevitable ups and downs. Fear, when embraced, becomes the very thing that strengthens our ability to persevere in the face of adversity. Fear also helps us develop courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. We often think of courage as something that exists in the absence of fear, but in reality, courage is about choosing to move forward even when we feel afraid. The more we face our fears, the more we cultivate courage. Each time we act despite fear, we expand our comfort zone, gain confidence, and build a sense of empowerment. Courage grows as we continue to face our fears, and over time, we develop the belief that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. Fear also teaches us to trust ourselves. Often, fear arises from uncertainty, the fear of the unknown, of making mistakes, or of facing failure. In these moments, we are forced to trust in our ability to handle the outcome, regardless of what happens. The more we choose to act in the face of fear, the more we develop self-trust. We begin to realize that we have the ability to adapt, to learn from our experiences, and to recover from setbacks. Fear, in this sense, becomes a tool for strengthening our belief in ourselves. It pushes us to trust our instincts, to rely on our inner wisdom, and to take the next step, even when the path is unclear. Furthermore, fear provides valuable lessons in letting go of perfectionism. Many people avoid taking risks or trying new things because they fear making mistakes or failing. The desire to avoid failure can become paralyzing, preventing individuals from taking the necessary steps to achieve their goals. However, fear teaches us that failure is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced as a learning opportunity. Fear encourages us to take action in spite of the possibility of failure, recognizing that failure is not a reflection of our worth, but an inevitable part of the process of growth. When we stop fearing failure and start seeing it as an essential step toward success, we unlock our potential for growth. In fact, it is often through our failures that we experience the most significant growth. Failure is not the end. It is a stepping stone to greater wisdom and understanding. Fear can teach us that setbacks are not final, but are simply opportunities for course correction. Each time we face a setback or experience failure, we gain valuable insights that help us move forward with greater knowledge, resilience, and confidence. Fear, when reframed as an opportunity for growth, becomes a teacher that guides us toward our highest potential. Fear also challenges our limiting beliefs. Many of our fears are rooted in beliefs we have about ourselves or the world around us. We may fear that we are not capable, not smart enough, or not worthy of success. These limiting beliefs can hold us back from pursuing our dreams and reaching our full potential. However, fear provides an opportunity to confront and challenge these beliefs. When we face our fears, we often discover that they are not as insurmountable as we once thought. we realize that we are capable of more than we ever imagined. Fear, in this sense, acts as a catalyst for breaking through the barriers we've placed around ourselves, allowing us to challenge our own limitations and expand our horizons. Finally, fear encourages us to live in the present moment. Often, fear arises when we anticipate future events that are uncertain or out of our control. We worry about what might happen, what could go wrong, or what others might think. However, fear can help us return to the present moment, where we have control over our thoughts and actions. Rather than dwelling on hypothetical outcomes or future uncertainties, fear encourages us to focus on what we can do right now. It reminds us that the only moment we truly have is the present, and by confronting fear in the here and now, we reclaim our power and sense of agency. Fear, when viewed as a tool for growth, becomes a transformative force. It is not something to be avoided or feared, but something to be embraced and understood. Fear challenges us, teaches us, and guides us toward becoming the best versions of ourselves. When we learn to navigate fear, we develop resilience, courage, self-trust, and a deeper understanding of our true potential. Far from being a roadblock, fear is the gateway to growth, and by learning to embrace it, we unlock the doors to greater success, fulfillment, and self-discovery. In a world that constantly pressures individuals to conform to certain expectations, to follow prescribed paths, and to seek approval from others, authenticity becomes a rare and precious commodity. The pursuit of approval often leads people to mold themselves into versions of who they think they should be, rather than embracing who they truly are. Society, family, and peers can create subtle and overt expectations that shape our decisions, actions, and self-perception. But the truth is that the relentless pursuit of external validation comes at a steep cost, often leaving individuals disconnected from their true selves and unfulfilled in the long run. Authenticity, on the other hand, is the pathway to freedom, fulfillment, and genuine connection. When we choose authenticity over approval, we not only set ourselves free, but also allow others to do the same. At the core of this journey is the understanding that our worth is not determined by the opinions of others. In a world driven by social media likes, public recognition, and the desire to fit in, it's easy to lose sight of the importance of staying true to ourselves. We may find ourselves chasing after the next compliment, the next approval, or the next affirmation, but this external validation is fleeting. It's like trying to fill an endless void that can never truly be satisfied. When we base our sense of self-worth on external sources, we relinquish control of our own lives. We become subject to the whims of other people's judgments, and our happiness becomes dependent on how others perceive us. In contrast, authenticity is rooted in the understanding that we are inherently worthy, just as we are. It's about recognizing that our value comes from within, not from the approval or acceptance of others. Authenticity requires courage because it asks us to show up as our true selves, even when it's uncomfortable or when others may not understand. It asks us to let go of the need to be liked or accepted, and instead embrace the freedom that comes with being unapologetically ourselves. The process of choosing authenticity over approval begins with self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to reflect on who we are, what we value, and what drives us. It's about understanding our strengths and weaknesses, acknowledging our fears, and confronting the aspects of ourselves that we may have been hiding or suppressing. Often the fear of judgment or rejection leads us to mold ourselves into what we believe others want us to be. We may suppress our true desires, preferences, or passions because we fear that they won't be accepted or appreciated by those around us. However, when we practice self-awareness, we are able to identify these tendencies and recognize when we are compromising our authenticity in the name of seeking approval. Once we become more self-aware, we can begin the work of reconnecting with our authentic selves. This may involve letting go of the roles or masks we've been wearing for the sake of others' approval. It might mean speaking up when we would normally stay silent, standing firm in our beliefs even when they go against the grain, or pursuing passions that we've hidden for fear of judgment. Authenticity requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is often seen as a weakness in a world that prizes perfection and invulnerability. But vulnerability, in reality, is a strength. It is the courage to be seen for who we truly are, without pretense or facade. It is the willingness to expose ourselves to potential criticism, knowing that our true selves are far more valuable than any false image we might try to project. The journey toward authenticity can also involve letting go of the need for constant approval from others. As children, many of us were conditioned to seek validation from authority figures, whether it was our parents, teachers, or other caregivers. We learned that approval was tied to our worth. If we did well in school, behaved as expected, or achieved success in certain areas, we were praised and rewarded. This early conditioning can shape our adult lives in subtle ways. As we grow older, we may find ourselves seeking approval from peers, colleagues, or even strangers in an attempt to feel valued and accepted. The more we seek this approval, the more we distance ourselves from our true selves. We begin to tailor our actions, thoughts, and even our emotions to fit what we believe others expect from us. Letting go of this need for approval requires a radical shift in mindset. It involves accepting that we cannot please everyone, and that trying to do so will only leave us exhausted and unfulfilled. We need to accept that there will always be people who disagree with us, who don't understand us, or who don't approve of the choices we make. And that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's liberating. When we release the need for approval, we give ourselves permission to make choices that align with our true desires, even if they don't make sense to others.
This shift can be uncomfortable, especially when we have spent so much of our lives seeking external validation. We may fear rejection or criticism. However, we must realize that the only true approval we need is our own. When we are true to ourselves, when we make decisions that align with our values, and when we pursue our passions with authenticity, we cultivate a sense of inner peace that no external approval can ever provide. Choosing authenticity over approval also involves creating boundaries that protect our true selves. In relationships, in work, and in social situations, we often encounter people or circumstances that push us to conform or compromise our authenticity. This might be a boss who expects us to behave in a certain way, a friend who tries to impose their beliefs or lifestyle on us, or a family member who judges us for pursuing a career or lifestyle that they don't understand. In these situations, we must learn to set boundaries that honor our authenticity and protect our emotional well-being. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about preserving our integrity and ensuring that we don't lose ourselves in the process of pleasing others. Setting boundaries can be difficult, especially if we fear disappointing or upsetting others. However, it is essential for maintaining a sense of self-respect and self-worth. When we set clear boundaries, we are communicating that our authenticity matters more than fitting into the mold that others have created for us. Boundaries give us the space to be ourselves without guilt or shame. They empower us to make choices that serve our growth, happiness, and well-being rather than constantly adjusting to others' expectations. When we choose authenticity over approval, we also foster deeper and more meaningful connections with others. Paradoxically, the more we embrace our true selves, the more we attract people who resonate with our authenticity. Authenticity breeds trust, vulnerability, and openness in relationships. When we show up as our true selves, we invite others to do the same. We create a space where people feel safe to express who they really are, free from the pressure to conform or seek approval. These authentic connections are far more meaningful and fulfilling than relationships built on pretense or false personas. Additionally, choosing authenticity allows us to live a life of purpose. When we stop seeking external validation, we can begin to focus on what truly matters to us. We can align our actions with our values, pursue careers that ignite our passions, and engage in relationships that nourish our souls. Living authentically means living with intention, making choices that align with our deepest desires, and embracing the journey no matter where it leads. Authenticity also enhances our mental and emotional well-being. When we are constantly seeking approval or pretending to be someone we're not, we experience inner conflict. We feel disconnected from our true selves, and this can lead to stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. On the other hand, when we live authentically, we feel a sense of peace and alignment. We no longer have to keep up appearances or hide parts of ourselves to fit in. We can embrace who we are, flaws and all, and find peace in the knowledge that we are enough just as we are. Ultimately, the journey of choosing authenticity over approval is an ongoing process. It is not something that happens overnight, but rather a continual practice of self-awareness, self-acceptance, and courage. It requires us to confront our fears, challenge societal norms, and trust in our own worth. The more we embrace authenticity, the more we realize that approval from others is not necessary for our happiness or success. The true approval we seek is the approval of our own hearts, minds, and souls. And when we find that, we unlock a life of deep fulfillment, meaningful connections, and genuine joy. We are constantly faced with decisions throughout our lives, whether they are small or life-changing, mundane or profound. Every choice we make has the potential to shape our reality and our future. The power of personal choice is one of the most fundamental yet often underappreciated forces in our lives. In a world filled with external influences, from societal pressures to familial expectations, it is easy to forget that we have the power to decide our own paths, to choose how we respond to circumstances, and to define the course of our lives. Personal choice is not just about the big decisions, it is the daily, often overlooked choices that truly determine the quality and direction of our lives. It is the power we hold to shape our experiences, our happiness, and our sense of fulfillment. Personal choice is not merely about picking one option over another. It is about embracing the responsibility and the freedom that comes with making those decisions. When we acknowledge the power of our personal choices, we begin to realize that our life is not a series of random events, but a collection of moments shaped by the choices we make. Every action we take, every thought we entertain, every response we offer is the result of a decision. These choices, whether conscious or unconscious, create the blueprint for the life we lead. One of the most empowering aspects of personal choice is the realization that we are not bound by external circumstances or past decisions. While our past experiences certainly influence who we are, they do not have to define us. We have the power to choose who we become moving forward. This ability to redefine ourselves is one of the greatest aspects of human freedom. No matter the challenges we face or the setbacks we encounter, we can always choose how we respond, what we learn, and how we move forward. The ability to choose is a powerful tool for transformation, allowing us to break free from limiting beliefs and patterns that no longer serve us. When we embrace the power of personal choice, we move from a mindset of victimhood to one of empowerment. Many people live their lives feeling as though they are at the mercy of forces beyond their control. They may feel trapped in their circumstances, believing that they have no agency in their own lives. This can be particularly true in situations where people feel stuck in jobs they don't like, relationships that aren't fulfilling, or locations that don't bring them joy. The truth is, however, that even in the most challenging of circumstances, we always have a choice. We can choose how we perceive our situation, how we react to it, and how we decide to move forward. It is important to recognize that the power of personal choice is not always about changing external circumstances immediately, but about shifting our internal responses and mindset. Sometimes the most powerful choice we can make is how we respond to the things we cannot control. For example, while we cannot control the weather or the actions of others, we can choose how we let these things affect us. We can choose to remain calm in the face of adversity, to find gratitude even in difficult moments, and to continue moving toward our goals regardless of the obstacles in our path. When we focus on the power of personal choice, we begin to realize that we have the freedom to decide who we are and how we show up in the world. We are not victims of circumstance, but active participants in the creation of our lives. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. It reminds us that we are not powerless, rather, we are the architects of our own reality. We may not be able to control everything that happens to us, but we have the ability to control how we respond to it. We have the ability to choose our attitude, our actions, and our beliefs, and these choices over time can lead to profound change. At the core of personal choice is the recognition that we are responsible for the consequences of our decisions. This sense of responsibility is empowering as it allows us to take control of our lives and steer them in the direction we desire. When we take full responsibility for our choices, we stop blaming others or external circumstances for our outcomes. We realize that we are the ones who hold the key to our success, our happiness, and our growth. This is not to say that we should carry the weight of every challenge we face. Rather, it is about recognizing that we always have a role in how things unfold. By taking responsibility for our choices, we empower ourselves to create change. It is essential to recognize that personal choice is not always easy. In fact, it often requires courage. We may face situations where making the right choice involves going against the grain, challenging the status quo, or stepping into the unknown. The fear of making the wrong choice, of failing, or of disappointing others can paralyze us. Yet it is through these challenges that we grow the most. Making choices that align with our values and beliefs, even when they are difficult, helps us build resilience and character. These decisions allow us to develop the courage to face adversity with confidence, knowing that we have the strength to overcome whatever challenges lie ahead. The power of personal choice also lies in its ability to create momentum. Each choice we make, no matter how small, contributes to the direction of our lives. Over time, these choices build upon one another, creating a ripple effect that influences every aspect of our existence. When we make choices that align with our goals, our values, and our passions, we create a sense of purpose and direction. These choices may not always lead to immediate results, but over time, they compound and create a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. The power of personal choice is about creating a series of intentional actions that build momentum, helping us move closer to the life we desire. One of the most important aspects of personal choice is the ability to choose our beliefs. Our beliefs shape the way we view the world, and they influence the decisions we make. If we believe that we are not worthy of success, love, or happiness, our choices will reflect those beliefs. We may shy away from opportunities, limit ourselves, or stay in unhealthy situations because we don't believe we deserve better. However, when we choose to adopt empowering beliefs, such as the belief that we are capable, worthy, and deserving of success, we change the way we approach life. Our choices become aligned with these new beliefs, and we begin to take actions that reflect our true potential. The power of personal choice extends to our beliefs, reminding us that we can choose to reframe our perceptions and transform our lives from the inside out.